Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's Eric here. Welcome back to Hytale. Now, this is going to be a different video to what I would typically do. This is going to be maybe ever my first modding tutorial. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how we're going to make a custom pet within Hytale. Hopefully by the end of this video, you should know how to make your own custom pet, and it should be fairly easy. So to get started, what we're going to do is head into a creative world. If you don't know how to make a creative world, just go down to create world, select creative, and you're basically good to go. So we're going to head into my testing world, and this is where we're going to be setting up our custom pet. So there's a few things we're going to need for this. First of all, when you get into the world, you're going to hit enter and do /op space self. This is going to give you op if you aren't already and allow you to use the in-game asset editor. Alright, so let's get started, and we are going to press B to open the creative tools menu, and we're going to go over to assets, asset editor. So when you open the asset editor up for the first time, I'm going to swap to my other capture here to show it. It's going to look something like this. Now, to get started, we are going to go to the three dots in the top left. We are going to click add pack, and first of all, let's give our pack a name. I'm going to call this Epic's Pet Tutorial. We're going to say the group is Epic NNG, or just whatever name you want here, and a quick description, which is optional, you don't have to do. And then down here in authors, I also typically just add my name. So then you click save, and now you see that we currently have our mod selected. And this is what we're going to be using a lot, so get used to this, just going through. We're going to be swapping between our mod and base game Hytale assets. So just get used to swapping between them in the top left, like so. So let's go back to base game Hytale. You see we have Hytale selected in the top left, and we're going to get started here by typing in pet underscore, let's do test underscore pet, and we're going to use test underscore pet. Now, there's two different types you can use. The lantern one is flying, the normal test pet is walking. We're going to do the normal walking one for now. So we're going to get started. We're going to right click this, we're going to do duplicate, and make sure that the asset pack selected is Epic's Pet Tutorial, or whatever you called your pack. The folder doesn't really matter. The asset ID, we're going to call this pet underscore, there we go, pet underscore test underscore tutorial, like so. Now that we've done that, we're going to hit create, and you'll see it's going to auto swap us back to our mod in the top left, which is what we want. And if I clear out the search bar and type in tutorial, our test asset is right here. Okay, so right now we're looking at JSON editing format. I would personally recommend, if you are going to do this, to load this into your own IDE like Visual Studio. But I understand if you don't understand Visual Studio, potentially that is not an option for you. So now that we're in here, it's just going to be much more simple. We are going to get started here by going ahead, and obviously we're going to change the appearance of our pet to what we want it to be. So it currently says that this is going to be a corgi, but how do we know what the corgi is? Well, back in the editor, we are going to go back to base Hytale, and we're going to type in corgi. And as you can see, under model asset, pets, corgi, it loads the model of the corgi. And so if we go back to Hytale, let's say that we want our pet to instead be, let's say, the bluebird, the cacti. The cacti is a pretty cool one, right? Pretty cute. We are now simply going to go back to the asset editor, and now I'm going to type in cacti to make sure that that is what the model is called. And if we look down here under model asset beast cacti on the left, that is the name of our model. So back in our code, you can either again switch back to your mod like this and then type in tutorial and change it in here, or you can do it in your IDE and then copy it over. It doesn't really matter. For the sake of the tutorial, we'll do it in the asset editor. We'll change this to say cacti, and we'll apply changes. And what's great about Hytale is this is all going to change in real time. So if I go to spawn entity in the creative tools here, I'm going to type in tutorial, and you see at the top pet test tutorial, and if I click on it, it's going to spawn us a cacti. And if I press E on the cacti, it will now follow me around as my pet. So just like that, it's that simple. We've already got what we're looking for here, which is one of our models in the game following us around. Very cool, right? And now down here at the bottom, we have name translation key. This is linking to a specific name key in the game, but because of how great this game is when it comes to modding, we don't have to replace it with another one of that kind. We can simply just clear this out at the bottom, and we can instead just type in tutorial Cacti. And you'll see going back to the game now that if I look at him, I have a mod called I Spy, which tells me that his name is Tutorial Cacti. And you can see that he has 9,000 HP, although he doesn't want to stand still. Now, there's a small problem we have right now, and it's that it's showing debug messages above his head, basically showing the state he's in, and we don't want that to display, so we're going to fix that. And so back in the asset editor, right at the top, we see debug display state. We're just going to get rid of that. You could probably change it to something else, but we really don't need to, so we're going to get rid of it. And now we are going to once again spawn in our pet that we just made. And you'll see that now when we spawn him in, he does not show any of those debug messages. Now, this is all well and good. We have currently got a pet and we can spawn it in creative and it can follow us, but we actually want this to be obtainable to the player in survival mode. So what we're going to do for this is we are going to make a way not only to craft our pet, but we're also going to make a way to summon it and despawn it so we can carry it around with us. So back in the Hytale editor, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to base Hytale assets. We're going to type in egg underscore, and we are going to see these egg spawner items. Now, it doesn't matter which one we use, but we're going to go in this case with the sheep one, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to call this epics underscore test underscore pet egg. Okay. Now, with our egg duplicated and created, go to the description down below and find the code I've linked for our spawning egg and paste it in to your asset editor. The only thing that we're actually going to have to change is right here where it says your egg name ID goes here. Now in Hytale, if you go to your spawn entity menu and you just simply look for the name of your pet, which mine is pet underscore test tutorial, that is what we're going to be inputting into the asset editor, as that is the name of our pet and that is what we want to spawn. Alright, and with that, your egg will now be able to spawn your pet, and also if you go to a workbench in the game and go to the tinkering tab, you can go and craft your egg in the adventure mode so you don't have to spawn it in creative. If you want to change what it costs in order to make your egg, all you have to do is go back in here and edit the items. If you want numerous items, then you just add a comma and you just add another to the array, and it's very simple. Not too difficult to do, and that is how you can simply change the crafting recipe for your egg. Now we're going to go back into the asset editor and go to our actual pet file so we can make sure that when we interact with it, it drops our egg on the ground so we can summon it again later on. All we are going to do now is paste in the logic for spawning our pet. So I have this linked in the description, and all you have to do with this is just copy from the opening of instructions below max health to the bottom and just cut it off before the name translation key, which again in your case is going to be your pet name. And all we're going to do is hit paste, and this is going to paste in the logic that we require. And now we just simply hit apply changes. Okay, so now back in the game, we have our pet egg, and we're simply going to left click to spawn our pet as we've already done. And now our pet is going to follow us around naturally. And if we press E on the pet, it's going to despawn it, just like so, and we can get our egg back. Now, the only thing we did not cover is how to then use your pet in other worlds that aren't creative testing worlds, and this is very simple to do. All you're going to need to know is where your Hytale game files are installed at, and then once you get there, click on user data, click on saves, click on your testing world, then click onto mods, click onto your mod. Mine here says Epic's Pet Tutorial. And you can see we have two files, server and manifest. I'm going to highlight both of them, right click them, and we are going to go to send to compressed zip folder. Call the file the name of your mods. For me, it is Epic's Pet Tutorial, for example. And then we're simply going to copy this mod, go back to user data, click on mods, and this is where all of your mods are typically stored. We're going to paste that zip into there. And now back in Hytale, if we go to worlds and I go to my actual world here and I right click it, you can see that I have the option to enable Epic's pet tutorial. With our world loaded up, we'll go over to our workbench, we'll go to the tinkering tab, and our egg is in there. And so there you go, that is how you make your own pet in Hytale. Extremely easy. Of course, it can get a little more complex if you want. You can go into Blockbench and make your own models, you can add custom stuff to it, but that is at a base level how you can get started with making your own pets, so I hope this video helped you out.